everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having an amazing weekend. If you haven't already watched the chicken and garden update for this weekend, go watch it. It includes some embarrassment on my part. I'm not going to say anything more here. Just go and watch the chicken and garden update and you'll learn why I was hobbling around for a large part of this week. But that is not what I want to talk to you about right now. What I want to talk to you about right here, right now, is EV charging etiquette. So there are now more electric vehicles on the world's roads than at any point previously. We are seeing some really fantastic mass adoption of EVs. It varies by country and country. It varies from region to region. And there are some parts of the world where electric vehicles are not being adopted all that quickly for various reasons. And that's for another video. But for the most part, I think now while I'm road tripping, it's most likely that I will turn up at a public fast charger and there will be somebody else there already fast charging their car. Compare that to just 2 years ago, really the start of COVID, where, you know, you turn up at a charging station and maybe if you were somewhere like, you know, very densely populated part of California, or you were on a route that was very popular, very busy between two major cities, you might encounter another EV owner. But a lot of the time you'd just be rocking up at a charging station and be the only person there. The fact that we are seeing more EVs on the road means that EV charging station demand is on the rise. And again, that is for another video. Today, I want to talk to you about the etiquette of EV charging. Things like people plugging into fast charge and then disappearing for 2 or 3 hours and then coming back and wondering why everyone is a little flustered that their car is still in the charging space. I'm talking about people getting angry about who goes next in the charging order, i.e. you turn up, all of the charging stations are full, so you park up and unbeknownst to you, somebody else has parked up and disappeared for an hour, come back and gone, well, no, I'm next. Even though I left my car and I wasn't paying attention, I'm next. Why did you jump in front of me? Things like that seem to be on the rise. We have seen an increase in fisticuffs and worse, unfortunately, at charging stations here in North America. I've heard some really terrible horror stories about people feeling threatened or having uncomfortable encounters at charging stations because other people either don't understand, the general niceties that we should be employing, or conversely, are very unwilling to share the EV love and to educate new owners. And, I've seen both sides of it, right? I've met people at charging stations who are, charging their EV for the very first time, haven't got a clue how to do it, because dealerships and automakers and charging manufacturers are not showing how to use charging stations properly. And again, I know I sound like a broken record, that's for another video. But we're also, that group of people are split into people who are like, yeah, please help me, I just want to charge my car. And the other side, and I have met a couple of people like this who are like, get away from me, I do not need your help, I do not want your help. And this thing is mine and I'm going to sit here and swear at someone on the phone until my car starts charging. So my general question to you today, and it is really aimed at those of you who do already own and use an EV, is have we forgotten some basic EV charging etiquette? I try not to charge beyond 80% when I'm at a fast charger unless I absolutely need that extra 10% to get me to 90 on a longer distance trip. Sometimes, if I'm driving the F-150 Lightning and I am towing something big and heavy behind me, I absolutely do need to charge past 80%, but at the same point, if I can see somebody who is in a hurry and needs to get on their journey quickly, I'm just going to move over. Maybe I'll move to a slow-powered charging station or a lower-powered charging station, then sit there on a high-powered one. I've encountered people before in a Chevrolet Bolt EV who insist on using a 300 kilowatt charging station because someone told them that was faster, even though their car is not technically capable of pulling that power. And unfortunately, there's also that rise in people who are turning up at fast charging stations who purchased a car in the last year or so, and their car came with free Electrify America or free EVgo or whatever your network is, free charging for either a certain period of time, sometimes it's a year, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's more, or a certain number of miles, 100, 250, 1,000 miles of free charging on their first however many miles of travel. Those people, especially the people who get it free for a period of time, are more likely, in my opinion, to be sat at a charging station charging up all the way to 100%. I've encountered in the last couple of years probably a good dozen or so Volkswagen ID4 owners who are doing that. And their mentality is, I have to pay to charge at home. If I charge at this charging network, this fast charging network, it's free. And I'm just going to keep charging until my car stops charging. And some of them will actually hang around until their car automatically stops charging because it's got to 90%. Then they'll put their car back on charge and try and get that extra power in because it's free. That's not great etiquette. And as I say, on the flip side, neither is the let me in, I'm in a hurry, you must let me in now mentality. It feels to me like charging stations are a little bit like fast charging stations, fast charging infrastructure, and public charging infrastructure to that end are a little bit like other publicly accessible infrastructure, be that a train station, be that a park, be that free parking in your town centre. We all have to share, and we all have to be cognizant of and compassionate to the needs of other people around us. The number of times I have met people who just seem really not comfortable with the whole experience because they've had a nasty run-in with someone else. I met someone a couple of years ago who had a dog with them, and they said to me, hey, I'm really worried about leaving my dog. I need to go to the bathroom. Do you mind just keeping an eye? I'll leave the window down, but can you just keep an eye on the dog so that the dog is okay? So yeah, I was stood next to them, right? That my vehicle was next to them as we charged. And I'm like, sure, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to let any strangers come in and touch your dog. The window is down. I will tell them that the dog is fine and it's cool and everything else. So it's an interesting thing that I think we're starting to see more and more of in the EV space. And I would love to know your thoughts in the comments below. And on that note, we are done with today's video. If you suddenly notice a spot of red in the corner of the shot, don't worry. Michael arrived just as I was finishing and he said, do I need to move the car? I'm like, no, it's just the end credits. Everyone will be very understanding and kind. And Michael is charging because he needs to charge. And I'm allowing him to have some charge because good charging etiquette. Scrolling on my right is the list of amazing charged up supporters, and shout outs go out to our V2G Patreon supporters. They are Alan Tupper, Andrew Martin, Bennett Elder, Brophy Wolf, Chris Maxwell, Cyprian Laplace, Dan Blair, Gordon C, Hey Esker, John Tramal, Carl Fox, Mark Eggleton, Peter Dillinger, Raging Fellows, Sean Tucker, Stefan Fremgen, Stephen Williams, Taslet in the Gong, Paul Bricknell, Tony Moss, Kyle Hodgson, Chris Asentar, Denny Hyde, Lance Schlall, Linda Irish, Mike Weeder and Paul Nelson. And finally, big thanks to our off-grid supporters, Paul Conway, Kevin Burrowbridge, Stephen O'Donoghue, Jim Burness, Robert Flannery, Aaron Hahn, Ellery Hensley, Rory Litwin, JP Fagerback, Dave Kitchen, Andrew Glenn, Anonymous Freak, Chris and Michael Johnson, CPU Freak 101, Eric Knack, Joe Bresney, John Henderson, Laura Reynolds, Marcel Ward, Matthew Drobnak, Nigel S, Reggie Watts, Will Graylin, and of course Ian. I didn't say this earlier, but of course, if you have comments, drop them in the comments section below. You can also reach out to us on Discord, or you can reach out to us on Mastodon. You can also reach out to us in the Patreon comments if you are a Patreon supporter. And if you'd like to become one, please follow the links below. You can regularly support us to the YouTube membership or a Patreon subscription. And there will be links there as well to our Ko-fi, Bitcoin and Swag store, as well as that aforementioned Mastodon server. Don't forget that we make content every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday on the main channel, and then on a Sunday you can join me over here for the chicken and garden update, which you should totally go and watch now, and our Sunday musing, which is what you've just watched. As usual, we'll be back soon with more great content. Stay safe, be an ally, and until next time, keep evolving.